So now we're going to get into some good news, right? So here's the bad news in a nutshell. We know we have some serious health effects, for sure on animals, partly on humans, okay? But we have so many benefits from light, there's absolutely zero chance that we'll do without it, okay? There isn't even much chance that we'll do without a lot less, okay? But we need to. We're at the dawn of all this great lighting. Well, I don't know that it was really foreseen, but LED lights are so good and so cheap that instead of using light more efficiently, people are just using more lights, okay? Every single year, the amount of artificial light at night increases a couple of percentage points, okay? And they actually think it may be higher than what they measure because they're using satellites, and the satellites are not necessarily sensitive to some of the LED wavelengths, okay? A couple of percent a year compounded is a big problem, okay? Most people don't have any idea that this is a problem at all, much less a serious problem, okay? So we can and need to do a lot better on this, okay? What is great is light pollution mitigation is very effective, right? You can completely eliminate a light source by turning it off, okay? It's pretty well understood. I mean, obviously there's a lot more to it than you go home and turn off your light. That's one thing. There's a lot more to it. It's very well understood. It's pretty easy to do. The technology we have to do a lot of good to combat this problem, we have already, okay? And it saves money, right? Because all of this wasted light is just flushing money down the drain. And we're doing a lot of harm that we will also pay for eventually by wasting this light. So you can, a lot of the mitigation you do, even on a personal level, will save you money eventually. And anybody can do this, okay? Literally, every person in this room can go home and start fixing this problem. So, last five slides are on the back of the handout, okay? So I'm going to kind of go through them quickly in the interest of time. The obvious one is turn off lights that you don't need. If you have, the strings of lights in your backyard that are now getting popular, popping up all over the place, okay, if that's your thing, cool. Just turn them off when you're not out there. Turn them on when you go out, turn them off when you're not going out. Indoor lights. If you hear an insect banging against your window, that's an insect that is not finding a mate, it is not eating, okay? Close your drapes, it will improve your health. Turn off the lights inside, that will also improve your health. Treat light and darkness like the resources. Use light carefully, only when you need it and for specific tasks, and use the lighting that is right for the task, okay? So, I did want to say about lighting controls, okay? So I have lights in my yard. I need them because I have steps and there is a potential for health hazard. You put them on timers, not the thing where it goes on when it gets dark, not a light sensor. It's actually most important not to use lighting at dusk and at dawn. You should turn on your lights when it is truly too dark to see, for safety reasons if you need it. If you're using them aesthetically, there are some other steps you can take. But nobody essentially is out after 11 p.m. So use a timer and just go out and adjust it, as the seasons change. It's much better than using a control that is triggered by light level. Okay, it is important. This is something you can do tonight. If you've got a floodlight in your yard, make sure it is pointed down, okay, not out. If it's pointed even at a little slope, some of it is going up into the sky, and that's what causes sky glow. Some of it's going into your neighbor's yard, and it's hurting whatever wildlife is there, and potentially the people that live there. Point it down. shield it so that the light isn't going off to the side. It's especially bad to have it go up. Okay, but you generally don't need light up. Okay, most of the stuff you want to see is down. Use the minimum level of illumination necessary. Okay, do you really need a 100 watt or 100 watt equivalent bulb on your front porch? No, you really don't. Okay, I'm here to tell you what you need is enough for somebody to make it up your steps. That's it. Okay, and a lot of lights, even if they're security lights, or in your mind they're security lights, you can crank them down. I'm not going to spend time on it, but the research on lighting being actually effective in reducing crime is not nearly as straightforward as you would think. I'll leave it at that, okay? And use dimmers, okay? Actually, in some cities in the US, they have the street lights wired so that they will dim after traffic goes down late at night. I walked through, I think it was Davis, and as I walked down the street, the light over me lit up and got bright. And then, you know, a little bit after I passed it, it got dim again. Not off, but dim. They're saving money. They're saving health. They're saving habitat. They're saving all sorts of stuff. Oh, sorry. Light of the appropriate color. Appropriate color. Okay, so I talked about bluish white light being bad. Soft white light is the direction that you want to go for all lighting uses. To actually be really effective in decreasing effects on animals, it needs to be less than 2700. The last slide I shows my wildlife-friendly light, which I think you can now actually get at like Home Depot. It's 1700K, if that's meaningful to you. It's pretty red, okay? Aesthetically, some people definitely don't care for it. I'm telling you this because if you think that the 2700K bulbs are, you know, you're doing wonders for wildlife, you're not. It's better than 4500 or 6500, okay? And this same is true for your health. You really don't want to be using bluish white lights where you are going to sleep. It's a different thing if you're doing tasks. Just quickly, those bright lights have better color rendition, okay? So you can, if you're doing a task at night that requires you to be able to distinguish colors, the bluish white light is better. And, you know, if you think about it, if any of you have used a red light, if you're out to look at the stars, okay, they're dim and you cannot distinguish colors. And use alternatives whenever you can, okay? You can use reflective markers on roadways. Okay, you go out in the country, there aren't lights on the roads, okay? In the city, there's more vehicles, there's more pedestrians. It makes sense to have lights, but there are a lot of times when you actually don't really need lights at all, because people could wear headlamps or people could use some other kind of lighting or have, you know, that light that activates when you walk by.